Hey, Toks Aruoture here. Welcome to my journal entry. The date is the 30th of October 2021. God will go to any lengths to stop me from living a mediocre life. He has placed in me the desire to fulfill my calling excellently and completely, and that is the driving force of my life, to be exactly who God created me to be. This desire is so strong that nothing else matters. There are many times I lose focus, I get distracted or become lazy. I take my eye off the goal and I yield to my flesh instead. I have, as a result, suffered. I don't want that suffering. I notice how when things are going well, I sit back and get into cruise control. No longer will I be deceived. I have to drive my life and not let my flesh lead me. I have to write my book, grow my platform, and scale my business. 30th of October 2021. So this is going on to 2.5 years ago now. And I'm chuckling because write my book is in there, but at least we're doing it now. So that's a good thing. If you have never watched any of these videos where I am reading very personal notes from my very private space, i.e. my journal, welcome. I decided to start sharing bits about my process, the process with which I use to navigate life, deal with challenges, change my mindset, and be intentional in my growth. And this is part of what I do. The bulk of the process that I use to grow and manage my mind and see what's going on in there is through journaling. My journal contains a lot of stuff, different styles of writing as well. And this, I don't remember the day exactly that I wrote it, and I don't remember exactly what I was going through when I wrote it, but it's very similar to where I stand today. So I have been in, you may have, if you've either been listening to my podcast, Living Inside Out, or read any of my posts or watched any of my videos, you'd know that I have been talking a lot in the last few months about some challenges I've been having. I haven't been specific about what it is because I'm not ready to share that part, but it's just been a challenging season, okay? And I feel like I'm coming to the end of it now, so that's a really good thing. But it's not so much about the season, but what happens in the season. And what tends to happen in those seasons is they are wrought with an abundance of lessons. And I have come out, or I'm coming out with brand new lessons again. This part about me getting into cruise control when things are going well is a very real thing. And in some ways it's a bit sad because it means that I am guaranteed to move when there's fire under my butt. And when the fire goes, I have historically chilled as well, which is not a good thing. My realization now in this season of 2023 is that what I consider to be suffering and pain is actually just coming out of my comfort zone and doing things I'm not used to doing. It's the discomfort of doing something new that my mind is insisting on interpreting as pain, and therefore I should be seeking relief from that pain. The problem with seeking relief from discomfort that is guaranteed to grow you into a new space means that you're also shutting the door to the growth that's going to get you there. So I cannot afford to interpret challenges as mere challenges that I need to be delivered from. I have to learn to see, and I'm learning to see it as life that I am growing through. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a dear friend of mine, and we were just talking about how we've been talking a lot about our children. She has 2 sons, I've got 4, and they're very similar ages as well. And we were just talking about how we're supposed to give our children the opportunity to grow, and we give them the opportunity to grow by not creating a comfortable space for them, by not We want them to learn through challenges. We don't want to tell them how to avoid the challenge, I think is what I'm trying to say. And we want them to have the opportunity to figure things out themselves without us interrupting that process, because the ability to figure things out yourself, the ability to think critically, is a skill that we all need, not just for survival, but for growth. But if we take that skill away and we replace it with information, they wouldn't actually have the skill. They'll have the information in that moment, which they may not even trust, but they will not be able to grow, and you're not always going to be there for them. I feel like I'm starting to ramble, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. How do you handle challenging situations? Do you find yourself galvanized to work and do what you know you should be doing? And then when the fire dies out, do you also chill? Or do you keep going? And if you keep going, I'd really love to know how you keep going. How do you keep going? In other news, Living Inside Out has got its very first guest this Saturday, Ms. Beverly Adaize. If you don't know Beverly, you've definitely heard of International Slay Mama and all her stuff, her shenanigans. She is absolutely hilarious, and I had the pleasure of interviewing her the last time she was here in London. So set your alarm for 8 o'clock Sunday morning, because that's when the episode goes live, and I cannot wait for you to listen and watch, because it's also on YouTube. It's actually a live recording, so you can watch on YouTube as opposed to just on the podcast, and come back and tell me what you think about it. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon.